Yes, indeed! Big Brother Bear here to give you all that you want and what you need. And today is my first interview, my very first interview. Hoop loud, you. Make sure that you stay into the end of the interview because he tells stories about when he played against Kobe, when he played against Dwayne Wade, Jason Kidd, Carmelo Anthony, because this guy actually played in the Olympics for the Canadian team. He was one of the guys that got invited as early as 19 years old. Before I introduce who I'm interviewing today, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. Now, keep in mind, I played basketball with this cat back in junior college. Now, if you've been watching my videos, or if you know me personally, you know one thing about me when I played basketball, and that is I was normally titled with the hardest worker on each one of my teams. Ever since I picked up a basketball until when my career was over and I finished playing, working hard has always been a staple. Now, I was never the person that can jump the highest. I was definitely not the person you want to shoot the ball. My shot, my doggone form was horrendous. I put a lot of work in on it, but my jump shot was horrendous. My form, I hitched the ball. Regardless, what I'm trying to say is this. You didn't give me very many titles when it came to playing the game of basketball, but you did when it came to working hard. It's always been a staple of my game. A story within a story is this. In high school, at Layton Christian Academy, and the only reason I name drop is because if you want to ask someone from that area, they'll tell you that my high school coach, Coach Porter, he was known for making sure that his guys were well conditioned. Well, me being the guy that I am, I showed up to one of his practices with a weight vest under my jersey, knowing that I was going to have to run, knowing that it was going to be a tough practice. That just kind of gives you an idea of what kind of work I put in and what level of hard work that I brought. Over the course of the time I played basketball, there are two individuals that gave me a run for my money as far as that title of being the most hard workingest player on the team and beat me out of that title times as well. Today I have the opportunity to interview one of those individuals. So that's what makes me so excited. This guy beat me out on that title on this basketball team. And that's only happened with two basketball players that I played with through my entire career. One I'm still going to be interviewing in the future. He played for University of New Mexico, but we'll worry about that later. But this guy is the second person. I'll tell you another quick story about him. Is I knew he was serious after a basketball game that we lost in junior college. Okay, so we all normally will go up to the locker room, we get dressed, we're turning our jerseys and whatnot. Same old, same old. We go back and we think about what we did wrong, maybe watch some film, think about what we did wrong so we'll play better the next time. So we'll be more equipped next time. So same old, we go up there, put on our clothes, and I'm one of the last people to leave. I don't like to be rushed, okay? I don't like to be rushed. I like to sit down and really think about it. So I put my jersey and my shorts in the center, put on my street clothes, and I'm ready to go back to the room. Well, I'm closing the door, and I come out, and you got to know the setup. Okay, at this junior college I was at, the gym is up top, right? The gym is up top, and then we have a window that you can look down and see the gym floor. So stay with me. I'm in the locker room. I come out the locker room door, and then there's a window right there. You can look down and see who's in the gym. Normally when I look down, the gym is black. Everybody's gone. And people that swept up, and the concessions are gone. Like, it's gone. Everybody's gone. The stands, everybody's gone. Man, I must have looked down there, and I saw this joker down there getting up shots. And I don't mean that mess that y'all think getting up shots is when you wait on the ball to come to you, slow motion, you getting your shot, you just sit there, there's no follow. I don't mean that lackadaisical shooting. I mean, this joker is cutting as hard that you think that he's still in the game playing. So what is this guy's problem? That's when I knew this joker was serious. He took that whole working hard deal to a whole nother level. Because me, myself, man, I didn't have anything in the tank. I was tired mentally. I was tired physically. And I didn't even play the entire game. This joker played the entire game. He's a guard, so it's not like the bigs. The bigs, all they have to do, don't get me wrong, they go from block to block, wrestle a little bit, get position, throw the ball up. But as a guard, you're guarding 94 feet. You're bringing the ball up. He's the point guard, 94 feet. He's shooting, right? So that was the crazy thing about me. That's when I knew this guy was serious. Now listen, I am so happy for this interview because I know it's going to speak to you. I know you're going to be, if you're listening, if you're a student athlete, I know there's going to be some things you can pull from this and add it to your game and be better with your pursuit and your dreams as being a student athlete, whether that be basketball, football, tennis, tiddly wink, I don't care what it is. This interview is going to help you do that. So I'm excited for you because you listen and apply to your game. My first interview of many. So I'm excited for that because it's one thing for you to hear my story of what I'm going through, but some of you cats are like, who is this old joker with the receding hairline yelling at the camera? He don't know what he's talking about. Quite contrary. But just in case you guys are thinking that, I'm going to be bringing on other people on the set as well. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm going to have some people in the studio. Then we're going to have some people doing that Google Hangout deal, and it's going to be great. I got some more lined up later. All right? So without further ado, let me introduce my mans in them. Tyler Kepkay. You there, Tyler?
I'm good, Belford. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Listen, man, I really appreciate this. Just being able to do this because I know it's kind of short notice. Tell the audience, man, where you at right now?
Right now I'm in Hong Kong, where I'm playing and running an academy as well. And I've been out here for the last 4.5 years.
Before I get started, man, I met you. You were your first year out of Canada. It's funny because at that time in Canada wasn't really popping like that. Like nobody was from Canada at that point. It was almost like a joke of saying like, okay, this guy's from Canada. We didn't know what to expect. After you said you were from Canada, we started seeing more and more people. The only people we could say that were from Canada beforehand was just Steve Nash and Jamal McClure. But now that's changed dramatically, man. Talk about the culture of basketball and how you even came about playing basketball, since basketball isn't known to be widely played in Canada.
Well, first, to touch on when I came up, there wasn't a lot of guys going down to the States to play. You heard of guys that would go down and then they'd be back within a year, and the stigma was Canadian guys were soft, they weren't good enough, they couldn't handle the pressure. And besides me, at that time you could probably count on two hands how many guys from Canada went down and stuck it out, playing for 4 years in the States. And then, when I went down, and then especially after my 2 years at Eastern Utah, when I went to the Division I level, we started seeing a little bit more. And then after that, it really exploded. And I think a big part of it was actually social media, because now you have guys being seen on YouTube, being on Facebook, and American recruiters, people could see guys up in Canada, and then they would get a lot of following, guys would go up, see them, and then there was more back and forth between Canada and the U.S. And then ever since then, it just exploded.
Tyler, my question to you, man, is since it's still in its beginning stages, I mean, you got Tristan Thompson, Wiggins. Is it a pretty small cohort of basketball talent where y'all pretty much practice at the same gyms?
No, I mean, not anymore. I mean, because basically the hotbeds of basketball are on the West Coast in Vancouver, where I'm from. And then you have the East Coast in Toronto, which, I mean, that's the real hotbed. That's where the majority of the players come from. But now, I mean, you look at our national team, and I represented Canada for 3 years on the national team. And at that time, there was three guys in the NBA at that time. Now our whole national team is 12 guys, NBA guys.
Wow!
And, so that you name the big names, but now there's a lot of Canadians. Kelly Olynyk, who's on Boston, is in the NBA. We have a lot of other guards that are in the NBA. And so now it's a big thing. I mean, I would say basketball is probably the most popular sport in Canada now.
You talked a little bit about that national team. I was going to talk to you about that a little later, but since you mentioned it, tell me about how that was for you, man, that experience, seeing these guys you grew up watching, playing these guys and guarding these guys.
Well, I mean, the first time I got invited, I was 19. And I thought they were just inviting me. I was young, and it was just for experience. And I went to training camp, and I ended up making the team after 3 weeks. Training camp last 3 weeks. And, I was a little bit surprised. Other people were surprised. And actually, I was the second youngest player ever to make the Canadian national team besides Steve Nash.
Oh, wow.
So, because I made it at 19 on the senior men's team.
Yeah.
And, and then, for 3 years, every summer we're traveling around the world. I played Team USA, played Kobe, I played against LeBron. I can tell you a funny story about that, too.
I definitely want to hear it.
From that game, I tell everyone it's a good story. I guess the biggest thing I saw when I was playing at that level was there's a very small margin between guys who are playing professionally and, making average money.
Sure.
And guys who are playing for big money.
Yeah.
People think it's a big gap, but it's not. It's timing, it's situation,
Yeah.
It's a lot of other factors that come into it.
I believe that. If I remember correctly, man, back in your college days, that was your guy, Kobe Bryant.
So when we played Team USA, we're all out there warming up. LeBron's out there, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, and it's like an hour and a half before the game. Kobe comes out, and it's like everyone says, similar to Michael Jordan. He has like a glow around him. He has it's like an aura. He walks at a different pace than everyone else. When he comes out, everyone cleared the court for him, of his team.
Yeah.
He gets in a workout with the trainer for like 20 minutes on the court. Everyone stepped aside, let him get his work in, and then they all started working out together. Then in the game, everyone defers to Kobe.
Yeah.
Kobe says he wants the ball. No matter who had it, Kobe gets the ball.
Yeah.
It was just amazing to see superstars, but then there's Kobe. It's just different.
Did you get to meet these guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, we were staying in the same hotel, and I had actually Carmelo was really nice. I had a good chat with Carmelo. Jason Kidd was nice to talk to me, and he was talking to me during the game when I was playing, saying he was going to take it easy on me and stuff. So it was fun.
What did you major in college?
Yeah, so in college I majored in communications and marketing, and at the time I didn't think too much about it. It was more, what could I done and graduate in 2 years? That was most important to me, because coming from a junior college program to a 4-year program, I didn't want to not be graduated by the time I was done playing.
Sure, that's a heads up move right there. A lot of student athletes don't think about that, man. They're dumbfounded by basketball, and they forget about the whole academic portion and trying to graduate within scholarship. Was there anyone that kind of tapped you on the shoulder about that, or is that just something you just knew beforehand?
Well, my advisor did. She said, here's your options. You will be able to finish these programs in 2 years and get your degree by the time you're done playing. So that was most important to me. So I guess I was lucky that she advised me on that.
How was it making that transition from Canada and coming into Eastern Utah, which was a junior college, academically? Was that tough, or was it easy for you?
Well, I mean, it was a big shock because I drove down from Vancouver to Utah with my dad.
Yeah.
16-hour drive.
Wow.
And I remember getting into Salt Lake. And, Vancouver's a pretty metropolitan city.
Yeah.
And so when we got to Salt Lake, I'm like, oh, are we here? Is this price you got?
Yeah, right.
And my dad's like, no, we got 2 more hours through this canyon. So I'm like, okay. So then I just remember pulling off the highway, taking that exit.
Yeah.
Hit the Price, Utah.
Highway 6.
The first adjustment was just being like, this is where I'm going to be for the next couple years. And then, as far as school, I mean, it wasn't really that much of an adjustment. I was always a decent student and, put the time in when I needed to. And then it was more like heaven for me, because then I had a gym that I could go to whenever I wanted.
Yeah.
So,
I remember you said go to the gym whenever you want. Do you remember that story I talked about it at the top of the
yeah.
at the interview?
No,
Because
remember that.
I mean, I didn't make that up. I remember seeing that. I never said that to you before today, but I remember seeing that, and that was flooring to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember I did that a lot, especially my second year. And yeah, I mean, I tell everyone the funnest time of my basketball career was playing in Eastern Utah.
Oh wow!
Because it was like the purest form of basketball. Everyone was trying to get to the next level. Everyone was working hard, and you're just doing it purely out of love. You know, so that was the best time for me.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give those student athletes in junior college as far as academics is concerned? Because a lot of times that falls by the wayside, but it seemed like you had the mindset that you wanted to make sure you got that taken care of. What kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, it's important, you know, and you got to be at a certain level academically so you can stay eligible and play.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, I think especially now, my advice, if I could go back, not that I'm upset with the major I chose, but I might have been a bit more strategic in what I decided, you know, and taking a little bit more advantage because you have so many people that are willing to help you when you're a student athlete, right? There's so many resources, so my advice would be take full advantage of that.
How was it for you? How was it for you trying to juggle both what you needed academically and be competitive on the basketball court?
Well, at Utah, we were fortunate because our coaches were quite strict about our academics, and so we had people overseeing us. We had tutors with us everywhere we went. Every night we had mandatory study hall, like most schools do, but it was quite focused when we did it. And again, we had so many resources. If we needed help with something, we got it, you know, and you were never alone. You have every reason to succeed. You know, if you fail, it's really because you're almost choosing to fail.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I talk a lot about habits, Kepkay. I've seen a quote, and I don't want to mess this quote up, but it says, "You tell me what you want in the future, then I can tell you what you might have. But if you show me your habits, I'll show you what you have for certain." I'm reminded of some of the habits that you've made on the basketball court of becoming a better shooter. I remember you were breaking down the mechanics of your shot and things like that. What were some of the habits that you had as it relates to academics in the classroom that you can share with us that can help others?
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, whether it was breaking down my shot or in the classroom, I just always wanted to make sure that I had a full understanding of why I was doing it and how it was implemented. You know, so for shooting, why was I doing this type of footwork? Why am I releasing it at this point? And translating that into the classroom is, okay, why am I reading this? How is this helping me for this course? Right? And really trying to thoroughly understand everything.
Sure.
So for me, it's all about details.
The SWAT conference in JUCO was pretty legit when we went, man. You had some guys, Rakalen Sims. I don't know if this is before your time, because, you know, I was there for 2 years. I was there before you got there. But Rakalen Sims went to Kentucky. Reggie Larry went to Boise State. What's the guy? Yeah, what's the guy? Zarin Ferretti or something like that from Australia. He went to St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
You had a big guy at CSI. He went to Ball State, like USC. There was a lot of talent there. Tell me about how does that compare to what you were used to coming from Canada?
I can tell you it was a big adjustment. I remember when I first got to CEU and we had the first couple open gyms.
Yeah.
And, you know, I came in, I was confident, thought I was pretty good. But when I came down, I just wasn't used to playing at that pace.
Yeah.
So I remember it took me almost a month and a half to get up to that pace, right?
Yeah.
And again, some advice I give people is because I was still very skilled because of the work I put in high school, if you're skilled, you can make up for that pace because that becomes just getting used to it.
Sure.
But if you're not skilled enough, it doesn't matter if you get accustomed to the pace because you still won't be able to compete, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely the biggest thing, was just getting used to the pace. Once I got used to that and settled in, it became a lot easier.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, man. I can remember some guys that had a kind of a playground swag about them on the basketball court, some of our teammates and whatnot. And I remember them doing that, and you weren't very fluent with playing like that, but you just had, it was very sharp. Everything was like professional, even when we were in JUCO. Is that just speaking to fundamentals that you gained over the years? Like, who introduced you to that style of basketball? It's just very sharp, very professional, very to the point, where other guys were kind of playground and hot dog and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think, it goes back to kind of, I don't know if you've seen what Kobe's doing with his new program called Mamba League.
Okay.
But he's trying to get kids out of playing AAU and teaching them more fundamental basketball from an earlier age.
Sure.
Where they play less, but they learn how to train and improve their skills.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing. I think a lot of the guys that we played with, they grew up playing a lot, but they didn't grow up teaching themselves, breaking their game down, and how to improve their skills.
Sure.
And so for me, I was fortunate. I had a young teacher when I was about 10, 11 years old, and it was the same thing I said about the classroom. He taught me that details are everything.
Yeah.
So like we would work 3-4 times a week, and all we drill is ball handling, footwork, shooting, mechanics, how to move. And that was always, for me, basketball was about efficiency.
Yeah.
I only need 2 dribbles, or 1 for that matter. And, I'm only 5'11", 6 feet, but the way I cover ground, it's like I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
So that's always been most important to me.
One thing that stood out to me about you when I first saw you, aside from your shooting ability, which is obvious, is you didn't come into college with a freshman quote-unquote body. Up top, you've always been solid. Is that something that was a priority to you, or are you just a natural build, kind of solid up top?
I think a bit of both. Naturally I've been strong. But from, I guess, grade 9, grade 10, I was introduced to strength and conditioning. And, you see Kobe was into it. Guys started doing it more and more in the league. And then again, I took the approach to strength and conditioning, just like I did to my skill work. I wanted to know why I was doing it, how it helps me. And I learned it as I went through the process of growing in it. And, it became something that was very important.
How has that helped you with your game?
I think it's helped me with my game because, again, I'm not the biggest guy at all. But for my size, if I get a step on you, I'm holding you off. You're not recovering.
Yeah.
And I'm able to stay on balance while getting bumped. That's the biggest thing. I guess since playing though in Europe and over here, it's been a disadvantage because everyone flops.
Oh, okay.
Everyone flops a lot.
Okay.
And then me being a foreigner, when I am getting fouled and I don't flop, but they are fouling me, they don't call it because it looks like I'm just holding them off.
Yeah. Now, we spoke a little bit about your shooting ability. Now, we played together. It was my sophomore year and your freshman year. And I mess around and look back, Kepkay, and you're leading the country in scoring. Talk to us a little bit about that. How'd that come about? It just seems like as soon as I left, you took off through a rocket.
Well, so it's funny because, so you remember our coach, Brian, Z?
Yeah.
Because after my first year, I was getting recruited. I had a couple offers to smaller Division I schools.
Sure.
And I almost went to Weber State.
Sure.
And then he said, you had a good freshman year. You're getting recruited by smaller schools. He said, if you want to go, you can go. But he said, if you come back, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be an All-American level type of player.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to go to wherever you want.
Yeah.
So I grinded over that for a while, decided to stay. Our first game was in Wyoming that year. I can't remember the school, but I just remember it was in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And I had 35.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't even know I had 35, but I knew I was rolling because I was making shots and all that. I had 35. And then the next game, I had 37. And then the year just kind of started like that. And then once you got to the conference play, we had back-to-backs against Salt Lake Community, back-to-backs against CSI, Southern Idaho. And it would be like I'd have 35 and then 38. And by the end of the year, we were looking, and I didn't even know there was like a national ranking. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And then Coach and I were looking on the internet, and it's like there's someone there who is leading, and he is averaging like 26, and we're like, I'm almost averaging 30.
Yeah.
So like we called the like association, you have to submit the stats and all that. So we submitted it, and then it was like, yeah, boom, I was number one like the next week.
Yeah.
And then I remember going to the National All-Star game.
Yeah.
And there was a couple NBA guys there. So like Marcus Thornton was there. I don't know, he'd been in the league for a long time, played at LSU.
Okay.
He was one of the best JUCO players in Texas that year.
Okay.
And, you know, it was funny because everyone was coming up to me like, oh, Mr. Leading Scorer. Like, they all knew I was the leading scorer, right? And, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that just kind of happened by accident. And, again, I think it happened because Coach Z believed in me.
Yeah.
And when you have a coach that believes in you and lets you be you, you know, it just everything started growing.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I think it's cool how you said that it just kind of happened and it wasn't something you were actually aiming for, but just something that just happened because you were being ready for that moment.
Yeah.
Is that some of the best basketball you play when you're not so hard on yourself about, listen, I got to do this or I need to do that, and just actually go out there and just play?
Absolutely. And, I mean, it became a little harder towards the end of the year because every time we played, then people were expecting me to, you know, score 30, 35 every game. And then you start putting that pressure on yourself a little bit because it's like, I'm the leading scorer in the country. Like, I got to be putting up 35, you know?
Yeah. What was the best thing about JUCO?
Best thing about JUCO, again, it was definitely just like when everyone had playing just for love. Everyone's trying to get to the next level. We're all trying to push each other, you know, after practice. I mean, you remember Jeremy Lathan? He was there.
Oh yeah, from Portland, I believe.
Yeah. So I mean, our second year, I mean, even our first year we did it, but then our second year was like we're just in the gym every night after practice, getting up shots, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, competing, talking trash to each other. You know, like it was just basketball nonstop.
Yeah.
And I just loved that. You know, it was the best time.
Yeah. What was the toughest thing for you? What was the most challenging part of being at a junior college?
I guess it's just that you don't really know what your future holds.
Yeah.
It's like, do I know if I'm going to get to the next level? Do I know if I'm going to get that opportunity? You know, and there's so many guys competing for those opportunities. You know, I guess there's times when you question it, like, am I going to get that chance?
Yeah. I got a question from someone that left me a comment on YouTube. I want to go ahead and read off. This guy's name is Tyree, so this is my shout out to Tyree. Tyree asked, aside from your playing ability on the court, what do you think are other factors that led you to signing to a major Division I school coming out of junior college?
It all has to do with my mentality of my approach to detail and making sure I was the most skilled player.
Yeah.
You know, and the work you have to put into that. And again, I was taught from a young age, it doesn't matter how long you're in the gym. It matters what you're doing while you're there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of guys put in time, but that doesn't mean anything. It's what you're doing. And it's just like, you know, a lot of people work hard. But if you're not working smart, that hard work is useless.
Yeah.
You know?
Give me an example about that. When you say working smart, give me an example about that.
So it's just like when the guys say, oh, I was in the gym for 3 hours getting shots up. And the first thing I'll ask is, okay, what did you work on? And they're like, well, I was shooting. I'm like, yeah, but what were you working on with your shooting? Were you working on your footwork? Were you attacking off the dribble, attacking the pick and roll, working off coming off screens, dipping your shoulder? Like, what were you specifically working on?
Yeah.
How many did you make? How many attempts did you take? What were your percentages?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not doing those things, you're just aimlessly in the gym.
Yeah.
Because how you don't have a gauge if you're getting better.
Yeah. Where'd you get that approach from?
Again, the same guy. So when I met him when I was 10 years old, he was 19. He's a fat Chinese guy from Vancouver. You would never think he was a basketball guy. And he's the best skill coach motivator I've ever had to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he still with the game now? Is he still giving you advice or?
But he was the reason why I came out to Hong Kong. And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Which I can tell you later, yeah.
Go ahead, tell me now, Kepkay, because we're going to mess around and forget all the things I want to hear about later.
So, what, about my Hong Kong story?
Yeah.
Okay, well, basically, so that guy that I just told you, the short story is, when I was 10, he was 19. He got myself and about five other kids together. He said, hey, I'd like to start working with you guys, you know, just training, improving your skill. So we met Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That group grew from about 5 kids to 15.
Oh, wow.
In the first year.
Yeah.
Okay. And that group of 15, we went for about another year.
Uh-huh.
And everyone started seeing that we were getting better.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, who you working with? Who you working with? Like, what are you doing? We could meet 3 times a week for 2 hours, and we work on our skill. And then at that time, after a year and a half, Glenn was still, he's only 20, 21. But I think I could, you know, turn this into something.
Yeah.
So then he founded the very first basketball academy in Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
And he called it 3D basketball.
Yeah.
And it stood for discipline, dedication, determination.
Yeah.
And those are the principles and foundation that he instilled in us in approaching the game and the life, and, you know, using the game as a tool. And, you know, so we learned that from a young age. And it grew into 2,000 kids over 10 years. And from that original group of 15, every single one was a scholarship player, either Canada or the U.S.
Oh, wow.
To this day, I'm still best friends with him. He just turned 40. I'm turning 30. And after he finished the academy when he was 30 years old, he had family in Hong Kong. He moved to Hong Kong. Wanted to go on a different path. Started his own company. And then when I was in between contracts in Germany and was getting offered to go play in the Middle East and stuff, he's like, why don't you come out here and visit me? So I came out here for 2 weeks. I was 25, turning 26. And I loved it out here. Met a couple people that offered me a job, not in basketball.
Yeah.
And then I took a hard think about it. And then so I decided to move here.
Yeah.
Got here, those things didn't work out.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, crap. Right? So I was playing in a fun men's league out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first month, I get a phone call. Some guy calls me like, hi, my name is so-and-so. He's like, I'd like you to come to a game, check it out. And if you're interested, I'd like you to play for me. And the only reason he's asking me is someone saw me play and told him about me.
Yeah.
He'd never seen me play at this point.
Yeah.
I went to a game, checked it out. Gym's packed, couple thousand people. It's Nike and Adidas sponsor everything. It's on TV, da-da-da-da-da. And then I was like, oh, this could be fun.
Yeah.
So I decided to play. And then I played and won a couple championships my first 2 years. Led the league in scoring. I'm an Adidas athlete. I'm fully sponsored by Adidas.
Yeah.
We have started the academy, and it's like everything's just exploded.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear more about that academy later on. I definitely want to hear about that. One of its principles was using the game as a tool, the basketball game as a tool. Now, I know, without even asking you this question, you've seen some guys that had that mixed up, where basketball was their only focus and they didn't take care of other things, so it almost was like a curse to them. Can you talk a little bit about using the game as a tool instead of letting the game of basketball use you as a tool?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, it's like when I say use it as a tool, the first thing is, what can it teach you?
Yeah.
It teaches you just like the 3Ds, right? Discipline, being dedicated, being determined, right? Showing commitment, being self-disciplined in that, you know, when your friends are going out on a Friday night, like we were in the gym working, right? Making sacrifices.
Yeah.
And so using it as a tool first to teach you intangibles. Then after that, it becomes something, if you're fortunate enough, it can pay for your education and put you in a position to go to school. And then if you're even more fortunate, it can be a tool that gets to show you the world. You can travel because of it.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, for me, the biggest thing was the intangibles that the game taught me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a lot of the guys that we know, they missed those points because a lot of them naturally were better than me.
Yeah.
Right? Just physically. And they didn't have to put in that time and work and learn the intangibles and teach themselves sacrifice.
Yeah.
So they missed that part.
Yeah.
Which partly isn't their fault because naturally it came easy.
Yeah. Once you made that transition from junior college to 4-year major Division I school, what were some of the biggest adjustments you had to make in order to make that transition?
Well, I mean, it's just another level of pressure.
Sure.
Right, that's the biggest thing. There's the expectations much higher. Pressure is much higher. You know, the players are better. The biggest thing I say between Division I and like JUCO is you have the same athleticism, but everyone's a little smarter at playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? That's the biggest difference. And then with a bigger stage.
Sure.
Right? I mean, I think that's the biggest thing for most guys is the stage becomes a lot bigger. Lights are a lot brighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the biggest things for sure.
Who's been one of the toughest matchups for you in playing at that level?
Toughest matchups. Probably Jimmer Fredette was pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good battles. It was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was hard because it was kind of like me in junior college.
Yeah.
Was that he played at BYU, and his coach gave him ultimate freedom.
Yeah.
So he was so unpredictable. You never knew when he was going to shoot because his coach would let him come down and pull up from 40 feet 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And all he would care about is if the other guys are rebounding hard enough for him.
Yeah. Wow.
So it made it very hard to guard him.
Yeah. What kind of advice would you give those guys that's making that transition from junior college to 4-year school or Division I school in particular?
The hardest thing for me was I didn't have anyone who gave me advice.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone I could talk to who had gone through this situation as me, help me make the decision on where to go to school. Right?
Yeah.
And when you lead the country in scoring, I was getting recruited by 100 schools.
Yeah.
I was on my phone for 4 or 5 hours a day. This was before the rules changed.
Yeah.
I'd be getting 1,000 texts a day.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming, and everyone started sounding the same.
Sure. Sure.
So it was very hard to make a decision. And so my advice is try and find someone who's been through that experience.
Yeah.
Because they can decipher all the nonsense and help you have clarity.
Have you played against someone that didn't go to a major Division I school in your professional ranks, whether that be in Germany or whether that be in China, and they surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, there's good players everywhere.
Sure.
And And yeah, there's a lot of guys who didn't play Division One, who are Division One players,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And they're very, very good. Because here's the thing: once you step out of college, it's like in college, guys go Division One because they fit a role that a coach is looking for.
Yeah.
So they get an opportunity.
Sure.
If you have any chance of playing after college at pretty much any level, you have to be able to come in and be a player. You can't fit a role.
Yeah.
Because when you come in as a foreign player, you're expected to score, rebound, create, defend. You can't just come in and be a role player because they'll get a local player in their country to do that.
Sure. I've heard that.
So then you see guys who are Division One players. I've seen this a lot too. They played Division One, even at big programs, but then they become a pro and they get cut real quick.
Yeah.
Because they can't do whatever their role was at Division One. They can't do anything outside of that.
Almost like they were crippled by it, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I've seen lots of guys who are Division Two players and are tough and really good.
Yeah.
You know, and making lots of money playing wherever they're playing. And yeah, so that is, yeah, I see that a lot.
And that's one thing that I try to tell my guys, man, is not getting necessarily caught up in that. Just going to a school that fits you. Like, because what good is it for you to tell everybody, puff up your chest and say you're going Division One, and you never get off the bench. Whereas you could go to a Division Two school, contribute, and kind of build your resume.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, some of the best players I've played against, best players in the German league, some of the best players that I've played in Spain, the top leagues in the world, they play Division Two.
Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing: once you get an opportunity at a professional level, it doesn't matter where you went to school.
Yeah. It just matters the skills, huh?
Yeah, it matters now. What can you do now?
Yeah.
They don't care if you went to Duke, North Carolina, whatever.
Yeah. We talked a little bit earlier about your Division One experience. Expand on that now as far as your Division One experience. How was that different?
I mean, we went to a big program, all the bells and whistles. You feel like a superstar. You know, you get treated unbelievable. But like you said, going somewhere where you fit in and are comfortable, and like I said, having someone who can help you make the right decision. Played a lot, led the team in minutes both years, but I wasn't able to be totally myself. Yeah. Which hurt my career there. Yeah. I had to fit a role, so to speak, so I could stay on the court for 30 minutes a game. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was good and bad experiences. Like, it's just tough. Because I think one of your questions you asked me about ups and downs, right? Yeah. Like that I've had. Sure. And my whole focus was the NBA. Yeah, yeah. It was my only focus. And I was in the gym working harder than ever. And the short story is, within my first month of being there, my coach brought me in to his office. And he's like, why are you always in here working out? Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean, why am I always in here working out? Yeah. He's like, yeah, you're always here by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to get better. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. He's like, well, why don't you bring anyone with you? And I said, well, I'll ask the guys to come, but they don't want to. Sure. And I'm like, if they're not motivated to come for themselves, they're not going to come because I asked them. Yeah. And he's like, no, I think it's because you're selfish. Oh, wow. And he was like, you know, you being raised as an only child, and he went into that. My parents raised me wrong, and all these things. Oh, wow. This was my first month of being there. Wow. And so it was like, it was a mental battle, like right away. And I was so young, I didn't handle it very well. And it kind of played with my head, and it wasn't a good start. So I guess what I'm getting at is like, there's a lot of other factors as well. Sure. You know, and it made it very tough. Did you have any mentors as you went through that process? Were you contacting other coaches, other players, or you just going through it yourself? I just went through it myself. I didn't have, because again, at that time, I didn't know any Canadian guys that were at a high-level program and made it work.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, it was just tough, and it hindered my career.
And coming from a program where you had the ultra green light, how did that feel being a Division I school where that may not be the same case?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough adjustment, especially, again, when you're being sold the world.
Yeah.
To go there.
Sure.
And saying you're going to be used this way, and this is, you know, what we're going to do for you on the court so you can succeed, and then you get there and all they're trying to do is change everything about you.
Yeah.
You know, that was a really tough thing.
What kind of advice would you give guys that are being recruited by multiple schools? Because like you said earlier, after a while it all sounds the same. It's like you're just dancing around. You know, you put your hand here, I put my hand here. What kind of advice would you give individuals that's going to go through that process of being recruited?
I would say if you're getting recruited by a lot of schools, if you're getting recruited by 10 schools, then you put them in order from the biggest program to the smallest program. Aside from looking at playing style and the history of the type of players they've had, I would say pick the middle level school out of the schools you're being recruited by.
Don't go for the top school, you're saying?
Don't go for the top school.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, I'll tell you another short story.
Okay.
After my first year at Eastern Utah,
sure,
I told you I got recruited by Weber State.
Yeah.
Okay. Randy Ray, I love him, great guy, he's a head coach. I almost went.
Yeah.
I didn't go. You know who was second on the depth chart, senior in high school that year?
Who's that?
Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
So Damian went there that next year. I had one more year of JUCO, and when I got to Utah, I played against Damian Lillard for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we pumped them every time.
Yeah.
We beat them easily.
Sure.
Damian, and then when I graduated, he broke his leg and sat out a year.
Yeah.
And he came back and was a whole new beast.
Yeah.
And got drafted that year.
Wow.
But the point is you had it was his show. And especially if you're a smaller, undersized guard,
yeah,
you have to go somewhere where the ball's in your hand and you can really create and show what you can do.
Yeah. What have been some lessons that you've learned throughout this process that you really didn't think you were going to learn just by going through it and actually playing the game and going to different countries or whatnot?
Yeah, that, you know, just like life, the game is not fair.
Yeah.
You know, you're young, you're naive, and you think all that matters is how good you are and how hard you work.
Yeah.
But again, just like you said, have I seen guys who didn't play Division I that are really good? Absolutely. And just like, have I seen so many guys that are playing at lower levels, making money just enough to get by, and then guys who are playing at high levels and making $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Is that guy 1,000,000 times better than him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They're interchangeable. They're the same level.
Sure.
You know, but it's just like how it works.
Yeah. That's both. That could be humbling, man, because it's a sharp contrast from what you've learned when you were a kid, when you just think that all I have to do is work hard, and sometimes that's not the deciding factor.
It's not. You know, it's just like working hard is one thing. Working smart is another. Luck is another thing. You need luck.
Yeah.
You need good fortune. You need things to fall in line a lot of the times. And unless you're a freak, LeBron James is going to be a top 5 pick.
Sure.
And this is just basketball, but it's just like anything. In business, starting a company, like, it's not just how hard you work.
Sure.
9 out of 10 companies fail.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's, man, just that by itself. I have a video on YouTube talking about just that, and it's something I want to continue to preach, man, because I feel like some kids, depending upon where they're from, that's their American dream, you know, as far as if I just work hard at this game, then I'll get this in return. And then come to find out, that's not That's not reality, man. That's not reality. I mean, because Kepkay, when you think about it as a microcosm of life, where else is that applicable? Right? Like if I was at University of Utah, one of your big schools, and I said, Kepkay, I can tell you what guy has the A in the class, and I walk into a lecture hall, and it's a lecture hall of 300 people, and I say, whoever works the hardest, you'd think I was an idiot.
Yeah.
You'd be like, exactly. Get this joker out of here before it rubs off on someone else.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys who don't even open the textbook.
Yeah.
They get straight A's.
Yeah.
You can't control the fact that naturally he is that good at remembering things, understanding concepts, that's just him.
Sure.
And it's the same thing on the court. There's guys that don't need to work hard, they're extremely talented.
Sure.
And the same thing in life. There's people, for some reason, things just line up for them.
Mm-hmm.
And money comes in, they create big businesses.
Sure.
And there's a guy who's slaving away in his basement, and no business has ever worked for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just life. But I think the important thing that people need to think about is, do you want to live your life, even if it's not working, complaining about that? Yeah. Or do you want to die fighting, trying to make something work?
Absolutely.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, definitely. I just wish that narrative was told. I wish people would be more honest. I feel like it builds you up with pride to say, look, I made it here because I worked harder than you. There's no other factors. It's just because I worked harder than you. That makes you feel better, but like you said, there's a lot of variables. Some you have control over, and some that you don't. That I feel like that people should put in consideration, and that would give these young kids a more sense of reality. Because the narrative now is, the top 60 players in the world play in the NBA. That's just what it is. It's just that whoever worked the hardest fills those 60 positions, and that's crazy when you think about that.
No, and I have a book for you should read.
All right.
It's called Tools of Titans.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down right now. Give me a second. You said it's called Tools of Titans.
Yeah, Tools of Titans.
Okay.
And anyways, it's based on this guy's interviews with 200 people. He's a very popular guy, and he's interviewed guys from actors to doctors, psychologists, the world-class chess players.
Sure.
And it's about their habits and routines.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger writes the foreword in it.
Okay.
And he talks about how people who say they're self-made say that is the biggest bunch of BS there is.
Yeah.
Because, everyone works hard. Once you get to a certain level, everyone's worked hard.
Yeah.
But he says, I can't take all the credit.
Sure.
I've had people help me all along the way. I've had luck all along the way.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I could have done everything the same I did, and it could have not worked out.
This is true.
So it's a very good book. You should read it.
Are you a reader, man? Have you always been a reader, or are you just on it now?
I got into it more when I first started playing overseas.
Sure.
You have a lot of time, and a lot of guys waste their time playing video games and stuff. And I didn't want to do that, so I got into reading, got into taking courses.
Yeah. Huh. Tools of Titans. I like that, man. I like how that sounds. Let me ask you this, Tyler, man. I feel like in life, much like basketball in life, we'll structure these things out in sequential order. Okay, I got to do this. Then when I make it to this milestone, I'll do this, this, and this. We don't realize that life happens to you, right? Someone gets a divorce, someone dies, someone loses their job. Talk to us a little bit about some things that happened in your life, like when life happened, how you navigated through that and still made it through.
Yeah, I mean, as an example, my Division I experience did not go how I thought it was going to go. Didn't get a chance to play in the NBA. And that was very, very tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. There was a time I thought about quitting playing. Right. And it affected my game, affected my mood, and again, it took me time to get through it. But because I stayed focused, I stayed committed. The days I didn't want to go to the gym, I forced myself to the gym. I really think that commitment paid off now because, like I said, I've been very lucky with my situation now. And I believe that, when you do put in time, how do I say it? There's a saying, I'm going to screw it up. Basically, when you put in time, there's no guarantee of success.
Sure.
But if you put in the time and are prepared, when luck does happen, you're gonna make the best of it.
Yeah.
And you're ready.
Sure.
Right? So I gave myself a chance to be ready. I got a fortunate situation here that was presented, and now I'm able to take full advantage of it.
Yeah. Because
I stayed committed. And so I think the important thing to remember is it might not work out how you think it's going to.
Yeah.
But as long as you stay the course, if it does in some way work out, maybe it's a different way, you'll be ready.
You'll be ready. Yeah. What kind of advice would you give college players that want to be in your shoes, that want to get overseas, that want to be in your position right now?
I would say, don't think about the end result. Think about the process.
Yeah.
Right? Think about the process. Think about what you're doing every day to get there. And even a bigger thing, which I was terrible at, if that's what you want to do, you need to start thinking of it from a business aspect.
Okay.
You need to start networking, talking to players that are playing over there, getting in touch with agents. Well, you can't until you're done playing, but just start getting into the network, get your friends who are playing over there, start talking about you, right? It's just like running a business. You need to create a little bit of hype. You need to create interest.
Sure.
Right?
Are there any things that you wish you would have known? Like in retrospect, now you're looking back, you're just like, if you had a younger brother coming through the ranks right now, or a younger sister coming through the ranks right now, and going through that process from leaving high school to go to college, what kind of advice would you give him or her?
Just like I said, I would say go somewhere where you're comfortable. And again, take the middle level that you're being recruited by. Go there. As long as system, everything fits you. Because if playing after college is what you want, you really have to go somewhere where you're going to get opportunity, and not just opportunity to be on the floor, but opportunity to grow and have a coach that believes in you.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about this Impact Basketball that I've seen you guys, your presence on Instagram and YouTube. What's that all about?
So essentially we're taking the sport of basketball and using it to impact the lives of youth, to build their personal intangibles, to make them the best people they can be off the court as well as on the court.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, man, that's similar to Hoop Lottie, man. Hoop Lottie. I don't know if I'll talk to you about Hoop Lottie a little bit, man, but
just in the messages briefly.
Yeah. So the narrative has always been this: if you go to Division I or if you go to the NBA, you're good. But if you don't, that means you suck. That means you have nothing to offer. That means that's a wrap. Case closed. And what I want to do is show you there are so many different things that you can garner from the game of basketball other than going Division I in the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really feel like
absolutely.
That's the case. So when you said something about using the game as a tool, I said, man, I think I want to get a shirt from Impact Basketball, man, because that's what I represent all day, every day. Yeah, I gotta see you some Hoop Lottie shirts for sure, because you're my first interview, man. I've had some people that talked a good game, said they want to do it, but man, I'm so happy that all it took was one message.
My pleasure, man. I'm happy to do it.
I really appreciate that. I got a round, man, that I'm gonna call. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna edit all this stuff out, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna call it, Kepkay. I didn't know if I wanted to call it 30 seconds on the shot clock or what, but I want to just spit out some random questions that is like this or that, and I just want you to spit out like no thought process at all. Any ideas of what I should call it, man? 30 seconds. What do you think I should call it?
Yeah, just call it 30 seconds of rapid fire.
All
Like you said, I think that's good.
I like it. I like it. Let me go ahead and get my timer going, man. We're going to give you 30 seconds on the clock. 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm even going to do a buzzer at the end.
Okay.
I'm even going to do a buzzer, so that'll tell you when it's a wrap.
My thing's your phone. My phone's dying.
All right. All right. How much time you got on your phone, Kepkay?
Well, it might die, but I have other ones here I can use. So if it dies, I'll call you back, okay?
All right. 30 seconds on the clock, all right?
Yeah.
30 seconds on the clock, okay. Let's see. First person you call after the game.
First what?
First person you call after the game, after a basketball game.
My dad.
First person you call is your dad. Okay, favorite album.
Favorite album?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Probably Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life, Volume 2.
Okay. All right, next question is favorite pregame meal. Favorite pregame meal.
Chicken and pasta.
Okay. Give me this one. Let's see. All right, this time I want you to rank these rappers right now, okay? From top to bottom, all right? You got Kendrick, Cole, Drake, and Jay-Z.
Oh, man. Well, people will kill me because I'm Canadian. I got to put Drake number 1.
All right.
Then I'll go Jay-Z 2.
Jay-Z's number 2.
3 and Kendrick 4.
Who's 3?
J. Cole.
And you got Kendrick being number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me your favorite memorable moment in the classroom.
Favorite memorable moment in the classroom? Planning my workouts.
Okay. The best advice you've ever gotten?
Yeah, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Favorite we about to go over these 30 seconds. Favorite motivational movie?
Men of Honor.
Word? That's my deal right there.
Yeah.
Man, look, that movie, Kepkay, see, we didn't mess this up because now we I'm sorry, man. But that movie, I picked my jersey off that doggone movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, that movie, De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr., it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, because in the courtroom, he's supposed to take 12 steps, but in order to put his feet together, he had to take 13. That was my jersey number. Yeah, man. Let's see. Favorite song to play before a game right now? What are you listening to?
Oh, man, favorite song before a game. You know, honestly, I listen to old Young Jeezy before games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, gets me hyped.
Favorite player in the NBA right now? I know that's changed right now because your man, he didn't retire. So, favorite player in the league right now?
Right now, I'd probably go with Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. Why Isaiah?
I mean, you look at him, yeah, he's small, but again, he plays very efficiently.
Okay.
Right? He covers ground, knows how to use his body, and I just really enjoy watching him.
What's your free throw routine, man? You know you're a great shooter. What's your free throw routine?
Yeah, my free throw routine is, I spin the ball, bounce right, spin it in the pocket, let it fly.
Yeah. Favorite sneaker to hoop in?
Favorite shoe? Right now, David Lillard 2. The 2, not the 3. I don't like the 3. I like the 2.
And last but not least, man, what's your favorite move on the basketball court?
Oh, okay. Well, I do this a lot now. Guys in the NBA do it a lot. So there's no real name for it. But see guys when they after transition, and if they have the ball in their right hand, they throw the ball to their left and step right and kind of leave the ball exposed as they body. They step to the side.
Okay.
Then they attack to the left.
Yeah.
I'll send you a clip of it. But
you're not talking about the Euro, are you?
What's that?
You're not talking about the Euro, are you?
No. So I have my dribble, and I'm coming up at you, and I'll throw the ball to my left. As I throw left, I step right.
Yeah.
That gets you shifting the other way, and then I explode to the ball.
Yeah. All right, man. That concludes it. I'm about to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let me go ahead and say this again, man. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I know you're not a person that just has free time just hanging everywhere. So I really appreciate that. You're my first interview, Kepkay.
I appreciate being the first guy, and it was my pleasure. I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, man. My first interview. So last thing I'm going to ask for you, man, is this. Give me a last motivational word or statement you can give to a lot of these basketball players, whether it be high school and college, that help them navigate both on the court and off the basketball court.
Habit. Everything is habits.
Yeah.
That's my word that they need to put in their head is habits. Do you have the proper habits?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the proper habits, you guaranteed won't succeed. If you have the proper habits, it's not guaranteed you'll succeed, but it gives you the best chance.
So make sure you practice good habits so you'll be prepared if you get the opportunity.
Yep.